Welcome back into the show, everybody. On the phone right now, I have no one other than Danny Boone from Rehab. Danny, what's going on, brother?
There ain't nothing to it, Eli. Just chilling at the house, man.
Nice, man. Nice. That's what I like to hear, man. It's a good way to spend a Friday night.
No doubt.
Yeah, man, and it's good to talk to somebody from Middle Georgia, too. I spent quite a bit of my childhood down there. You're from Warner Robins, right?
Exactly.
I spent a lot of time in Hawksville, man, so just right down the road.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where Hawksville is.
Always loved Warner Robins, though, man. I had a lot of birthday parties there at Stevie B's, went to the mall. My mom worked there, got a bunch of family there. Always appreciated old Wartown.
I hear you. You down there from where old Jeezy's from, ain't it?
One of my buddies worked for a medicine company down there, and he would actually deliver medicine to young Jeezy's grandma. Not a lot of people know that Jeezy's from Hawkinsville.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, you don't want to put it out there, like, where you repping Hawksville, the rap game probably is weird.
Yeah, for him to say he was from Atlanta was a little bit better of a way to go, I guess. But, man, that area has always been so rich in music, man, with Allman Brothers being from Macon, and Otis Redding, and y'all being from Warner Robins. Man, that place is blessed with such a wide music variety.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget Little Richard.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, dude, the list goes on down there. And I seen where they were redoing the old recording studio there in Macon, too, where Skinnerd and Marshall Tucker Band and all them guys recorded. I can't wait to go visit that place.
Yeah, man. I want to go see that, too. I'd be really interested to see where all that history came from.
Yeah, man. I just now got a chance to go to the Big House for the first time this year, where the Allman Brothers did their thing, man, and that was a crazy experience. Really?
Actually, Lamar Williams, who's another great singer here, his dad, Lamar Williams Sr., was in the Allman Brothers. He used to be on the road with us, and I guess his dad played bass in the Allman Brothers or something.
Wow.
And so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, when it comes to rap and rock and roll country, like I said, man, that area has just been blessed down there. And I've been hearing about a lot of new artists coming out of the area too, man. So it's good that tradition, is kind of keeping on a little bit.
Oh, for sure, man. And, everybody's just getting older, and there's more of them coming.
Yeah, man. It's a beautiful thing to see. And, one thing that I've always appreciated about y'all, man, is in every concert that I've been to with y'all and every music video that I've watched, you've always had on your Warner Robins shirt, man. And that's one thing that I always thought was so cool, that you didn't do what a lot of artists do. Like we were talking about Young Jeezy earlier, and just say whatever the biggest city is, whatever's closest to you, and say that you're from there. You've always repped your hometown, man. You've never forgot your roots. Why was that always so important to you?
I guess it really started when I went out to L.A. to shoot a video, and they were trying to get me to wear fur coats and gator shoes, and just I don't know why, but they had me all dressed up like a pimp for some reason, and I was like, yeah, my people aren't gonna dig this. You know what I mean? And they were like, well, and so they took all the wardrobe out. I said, what do you want? I said, just get me a T-shirt with Warner Robins on it. How about that? And they went and got some made real quick and brought them back. And that's what I wore. And I still have one. But
yeah, man, I just thought that was always cool, man, because, that just gives a lot of kids in small towns like that some motivation, whenever I first, of course, I got turned on to y'all's music back in the day whenever you released Southern Discomfort, and I heard Sittin at a Bar for the first time on the radio. I thought it was a dope song. And then whenever I seen the music video for it, I seen you had the Warner Robins shirt on. I'm like, there's no way that's the same Warner Robins that I'm thinking about. And then I done some Googling. I'm like, oh man, that's so dope. It gives kids motivation that you can come from a small town and still do big things.
Oh yeah, for sure. And especially now, man. Back when I was first getting into it, it was a little harder. But now, we're way in the future now, still talking about the internet. But the world has gotten smaller.
Yeah.
With that thing. You know what I mean? And, New York and LA and places like that aren't necessary anymore. You know what I mean? As far as getting on it. I don't think, kids, I don't know. I was just always weird, I guess. I always just knew what I wanted to do, I guess. And that's lucky. You to know what they want to do. You know what I mean? Is what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And, I'm almost jealous of the younger generation, how easy the internet has made it for them. But it's a beautiful thing too, man, because nowadays you can just, if you got a good laptop, some good recording software, maybe a beat machine and a good mic, you can make really good quality stuff in your bedroom if you want to. You ain't got to go to these big cities and be around these money-hungry, soul-sucking individuals. You can do everything right there in the comfort of your home and make just as big of an impact. It's crazy to think about.
Oh, yeah, it is crazy to think about. And I love that you use money-hungry, soul-sucking individuals.
Yeah, man, because, it's full of them. And nowadays, artists can go independent, and not have to be around any of those three-piece suit dudes that don't know anything about music.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's a beautiful thing for artists to be able to have more say-so in what they put out, too,
Yeah, man, it's really a freeing experience, and I think that's why we're getting some really dope music out of it, man. But with you, I'd love to go back to the beginning, man. I love to explore this with artists that I'm really into. What was the reason and the motivation for you to even try out music in the first place?
I just came up in my grandmother was Puerto Rican, and she had music playing all day long in the house. I just always had music around, and I used to sit in front of her record player when I was a kid and just go through records, and I learned all the words and all of them. And usually, I guess because of her background in music and where she was from, that everything seemed very rhythmic, and she was always tapping on things, and I don't know. I would think I got it from my grandmother, and I always just loved it, man. I loved all kind of music. And then, of course, the advent of hip-hop, then, becoming popular when I was in my teens. Actually, when I was in elementary school. But, I was just hooked, you know what I mean? It wasn't... I just loved everything about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what was the one thing about hip hop that really drew you into it, man? Because I've been noticing you've been kind of diving back into the old school hip hop style with the Danny Boone EPs that you've been releasing and stuff like that. I love that old school sound, man. What about that kind of hooked you back in the day?
Just the beats, the rhymes, style. I guess the principles of loyalty, and I don't know, I just loved it. You know what I mean? I liked everything about it. I wanted to be a part of it. Of course, I never considered anything like that as far as, because I'm not from New York or LA or something like that. But I don't know. I just don't feel like for somebody to do whatever you want to do, and I just decided that's what I was going to do.
that's dope,
not
man.
Whatever you want to do, but it wasn't feasible at all for me to get into it. But I didn't really have much support, because at the time there was no internet, and people around here didn't have big dreams necessarily like that at the time, And it was just kind of like, oh no, there's this crazy kid in town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's this crazy kid in town that could really rhyme
Yeah, and I would say like back then, man, you know, like that was a kind of a new thing for that area too. Like I know the rap game has really exploded in Georgia nowadays, but I mean back then, man, like you didn't have Outcast, you didn't have T.I. and all these dudes. I'd say that was it was almost, well, you know, the term outcast thing to be into rap in middle Georgia back then.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about like 1985.
Yeah,
and yeah, nobody went. That was pretty much the Village Idiot. You know what I mean? Around here.
Hey, but it worked out, man. It worked out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Me and all my fellow Village Idiots. Let's put it that way. It was about 10 of us, but.
Hey, but that can show kids out there too, man, that just because people don't understand you at this time don't mean that they won't in the future, you know. And you know, if you're enjoying it, who cares what other people think?
That's right. That's right. I mean, there's so many thinkers these days, it don't matter.
Yeah,
you
man.
Know what I mean, everybody's thinking something about something.
Yeah, man. That old school hip hop sound, though, I've always loved, like the old school Def Jam, you know, like Rick Rubin in his prime with LL Cool J, Run DMC, the Beastie Boys. Like the first time that I heard, you know, License to Ill, like that blew my mind as a kid. Like them old school hip hop beats, man, went so hard. Like this made you want to.
Yeah, no doubt. And it was a totally different feel back then, and it was all brand new, and it had me. Man, I'd be riding down the road wanting to kick my windshield out.
Yeah, man.
Excited.
Yeah, and that's something that's like the new rap. You know, don't get me wrong. I still like a lot of the stuff that comes out of it, you know. But like it's more like R&B nowadays. Like back in the day, man, I'd turn on Sabotage and I just want to flip over a car. You know, like there was energy to it. It was the boom bap beats, I guess is what they used to call it back in the day. Man, that had some energy to it. Yeah,
for sure. And it's I don't know. It was a lot more about originality back then too.
And you had to spit too, man. Like you had to bring your A game.
For sure.
Yeah, man. I'm an old school head, man. I'll still go back to listen to Big L, you know, and Big Pun and all those dudes. Like, it was the golden age of hip hop, as they call it, and that's why I appreciate so much these the Danny Boone EPs that you've been releasing, man. And I know like you rap and you sing, but how involved are you in like the production side of your music, like making beats and stuff? Do you do that?
On the EPs that I've been putting out?
Yeah.
That's all me and my boy Dakota's production. And then like the new thing I got coming out with Mike Hartnett, which is more of a blues project, I guess-ish. Mm-hmm. The Mike Hartnett produced this new album that I got coming out called Sandcastles. And that's more of he plays guitar, bass, plays a whole lot of instruments, and I can't do stuff like that. I'm just more of a hip hop guy, but I can do other things that I'll, like with Mike, he asked me to do an album, and I was, going through some stuff, and went up there, and he said, I said, I'm just going to do whatever you want to do. You make the music, and I'll write lyrics, and I'll make them fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy it. Tapping them out, son.
Yeah, man, that's dope to hear that you make beats though too, man. I think that artists should dive in to that side of things, man. It's a fun process, even if you're just messing around, man. Like to get a beat machine and just mess around, it's a lot of fun, dude. Pressing those pads.
Oh, for sure, yeah, man. I have a ball every night.
Yeah, man.
Every night.
But, I'd love to talk to you about the song Sittin' at a Bar, too, man, because, of course, that's the song that, like, really got me into y'all, and I've got every album since then, man. But, that was such a mega song, still to this day. Like, I'll be DJing at a bar or something like that and play it, and people just start singing their hearts out to that song. It was such a hit, man. What was the process behind making that song? Like, how did Sittin' at a Bar come about? We were in studio in Atlanta at
T Sound Studios, me and Jason Brooks, Jason Brooks was in the band at that time, and Cody Chestnut, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's a beast. Anyway, he came through when we first met him. He said, I got this little guitar line, and he was playing it, and he sang the hook. And so he wrote the hook in the guitar line, and I was like, oh, and I just started writing rhymes or writing the singing verses at the top. And then Brooks wrote him a rap verse and did it at the end. Mm-hmm. And he also did a beat. Brooks did a beat for the rap part, and we just all kind of put it together, and we weren't even, it was really kind of a joke. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like we had this whole album that didn't have nothing like that on it, except that song. And so we just tacked it on the end and put it out. Then we ended up getting dropped later, you know, went through that rigmarole, got dropped. And then 7 years later, somebody called and said, hey, where do we send your checks? This song that y'all tacked on to the end of this album is a hit. And he's like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's basically how it happened.
That's cool, man. That seems to happen a lot with hits, though. Like, it comes at the time when artists are just having fun and they're not even thinking about trying to make a hit.
Exactly. I wrote that, I had that thought the other day. I was like, you know, you can't try to make nothing great, but you can try to make something. You know, you never know.
What was it like for y'all, like, when you found out, like, just how big that song had gotten?
It was awesome. I mean, it was just real, like, oh my God. Because I was working at the time, and I was like, oh my God, I got to get a band together. You know what I mean? That's basically what it was. And because the first incarnation of Rehab had dissolved, but then somebody called me, and it was just weird out of nowhere, and they just said, I own the name Rehab. You can have it back if you want to. And I got it. And I was like, oh, my God. So I got the name Rehab, and I got the song to go sing. It's going to afford me an opportunity to write some more songs. You know what I mean? Yeah. And go out and perform them. And that's really kind of what, you know, it was awesome, man. It was like a new lease on life after that first deal, you know?
Yeah, man. I liked the version there on Southern Discomfort. That was the first album that I ever got from y'all, like right when y'all first came out. But whenever I got the Graffiti the World album, man, how y'all cleaned it up and like kind of just remade it, that's my favorite version of that song. I no disrespect to Hank Williams Jr., but that album version, man, was just clean, man. What kind of like made y'all redo the song?
What happened with that is there was the version that we did was on Epic, the original version, and then record labels started coming at us again, and Universal was coming at us, but they want their own version. You know, they're going to want their own version because when you go into the streams, you don't want Epic beside it. If you're on Universal, you want, you know what I mean? They want their version in the algorithm or whatever the hell it's called. And we did that with Universal. Then Epic decided, well, we'll show you and we'll blow up this version over here and start putting it out. And since we know it's a hit. So then you just kind of really got two people bigging up your song, you know. But
yeah.
So
going back to what we said earlier about the soul-sucking, money-hungry individuals, man, this game is full of them.
Yeah, it's a tough biz.
But yeah, man, I loved that album, Graffiti the World, too, man. I got that whenever I was 13 years old, man, right before I moved up to Kentucky. That album has always held a special place in my heart, man. But I've loved all the albums since then. Oh, well, I need to ask you one more question about Sitting at a Bar. I about forgot to ask this. I love the music video, man, but how did Danny Trejo become the bartender in that music video, man? I thought that was hilarious. Was that a Dusk Till Dawn thing?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what it was. I think, you know, people at the The director, who I forget his name, forgive me, he hooked up the Danny Trejo thing. You know, we went out to L.A., and of course, you know, everybody's out there, and he showed up and was like, holy shit, Danny Trejo. And old John from Chips was in it, too.
Man, I thought that's who that was. I wasn't for sure, though.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I'm loving the new stuff that y'all are doing right now. The Galaga album was dope, man. The cover art blew my mind. That's the dopest cover art that y'all have done, in my opinion. But what made you go with the name Galaga, man? Like, were you a fan of the game back in the day or anything? What was going on with that title?
It's the only thing. I mean, it was the only game I could really play after Space Invaders. I don't really know how to. I've never been a big gamer, but I do remember that Galaga was the go-to, and they're still around everywhere. And for the song, it was just, I think I was running around, and I just basically said, I've been in the game like a quarter in Galaga. I don't know. We just kind of ran with it, being silly. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, you just do songs. You don't even really have no big plan or message. You're just kind of throwing stuff together.
Yeah, man, just having fun.
That's right. That's all it is, man. And that's what it should be. I think, and it should be competitive as well. If a overly competitive person can drive themselves crazy, and I'm not that competitive like that, you know what I mean? And you just start getting angry at a certain point, and you're like, nah, all right, back to the fun. Let's get out of here. Yeah,
man. That's why people get into music in the first place, anyways, is because it's fun. And I think that you can tell when an artist is having fun, man. That's the vibe that I got from that album. That album to me, man, is like every Rehab album just put into one. Like every style, like every song that y'all have done, I feel like that album kind of has a taste of everything that y'all have done. One of my favorite songs of y'all's that I think is really underrated is Thinking Again on Southern Discomfort. And I kind of got that vibe whenever I turned on Galaga for the first time and I heard I Know. I was like, oh, that kind of has a Thinking Again vibe to it. And I've always thought that song was underrated, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, that was a crazy song. I think, Brooks made that beat. I think, on a Emu or something, whatever they call it, things. Roland.
So, what are you listening to right now, man? I like to ask artists that question. You know, like I listen to y'all all the time, but what are you listening to?
I don't listen to too much. I don't ride in the car with music, and I still listen to old music, like I don't know. I listen to Earth, Wind and Fire. I listen to Steely Dan. Listen to all things old school hip hop, pretty much. Souls of Mischief, Beastie Boys, anything that I like, I guess. I don't really know. And I do like old country, like classic country music from George Jones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because their writing ability was just ridiculous. Yeah, and you know what? I do like the Dixie Chicks. I think they're badass.
Yeah, man, their cover of Landslide was awesome. I thought it took like a lot of to cover a song like that, and I thought they killed it. You know, I know people, Stevie Nicks is Stevie Nicks, but they done a great job on that cover.
Yeah, them girls are way beyond talented.
Man, I can tell that like you have such a wide music variety, man, and it really shows in your music. And you said this the new album that y'all are going to be releasing, Sandcastles, that's more of a blues project?
It's blues-ish. I mean, it's still all over the place like most Rehab albums are. You know what I mean? There's different things in it. But like we got a new single called Them That Matter Don't Mind, and it's, I guess, more blues rock type thing. And then, we got one that's kind of like surf rock on there. And then we got one that's, it's just crazy, but it's just all a singing album. It's no rhyming.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that Them That Don't Matter song. Like, I was listening to that, man, and one thing that I've always kind of found with y'all is y'all's lyrics are almost poetic. Like, sometimes you really got to think about what you're saying, and I love the chorus to that song. Like, those that mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind. Like, I had to pause the song, and I'm like, damn, what does that mean exactly? So what do those lyrics mean to you?
Well, I mean, you know, song is if don't remind him of his past if the fella's trying to do right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because them the mind don't matter, and them the matter don't mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, if somebody's trying to, you know, I've heard that saying before several places, and it popped in my head that day, and I was like, you know, and I knew what it meant. Just I have several friends that have had tough times. We've all had tough times. Mm-hmm. And had to go through things and change our lives around and do this and that. And, you know, when somebody's trying to do the right thing, a lot of other people will come over and just be like, yeah, whatever, dude. You trying to... I remember when we used to be passed down, we'd step over you leaving the party. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And now you want to be all clean, or, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? People just... sometimes.
Yeah, it's the truth, man. It's the truth. And you know, like you said in them lyrics, though, man, like those that matter don't mind. Like to me, the lyrics mean different things to everybody. Whenever I first heard that, you know, it's similar to what you were saying, but like, you know, do whatever you want to do. And those that really don't matter are going to mind and maybe not understand exactly why it is that you're doing what you do. But those that do matter, they're not going to mind because they understand. They know who you truly are. And they'll take the time to listen to the reason maybe you're doing what you do.
Right. Yeah, just, you know, and a lot of, you know, just a little song to make somebody think. It's like, you know what I mean? Just to trying to put a positive thought in somebody's head, you know, and that's about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Which not to be, I ain't trying to be better than anybody. I ain't saying that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man. Like, we need more positive music like that. That's one vibe that I've always got from every single album that y'all have done, man. Me and my wife will, you know, put a CD like Gilligan's Travels there in the CD player and go on a road trip, man, and just have a good time. That's what Rehab has always been about to me, is just good vibes and good music, man. And that's why I'm so thankful that y'all are still out there touring, making music, man, and you know, staying true to what y'all do, man. Thank you so much for this opportunity, man. Like, you really have no idea just how much y'all's music has meant to me over the years and the impact that it has had. Really, man, y'all's music has really helped me through some tough times, man. So thank y'all for everything that y'all have done throughout the years, man. And this has been an honor to speak with you today.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you and all the support y'all give us, and thank you, Eli. Does anybody ever say, Eli, uh-oh?
Oh, yeah, man. I get that. And also get Eli's coming, of course. I get it all, man.
Yeah.
But, dude, hey, Danny, thanks again, brother.
All right, homeboy. Thank you.